The thunder giant seal, which pierced through the sky for millions of miles, carried with it the power to truly destroy the heavens and earth. It finally struck directly against the Ice Spirit Clan's clan protection Great Array. Boom! What happened in that instant was unknown to anyone, for as the thunder giant seal collided with the Ice and Snow Spirit Array, the space within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles from the center of impact was immediately shattered into nothingness. All that remained was a vast expanse of darkness, spanning over 100,000 miles, where everything was obliterated, and the process of annihilation remained unknown. At this moment, millions of miles away, the Cold Sky King looked upon the scene, his face filled with shock. Despite the vast distance, the enormous black hole area of over 100,000 zhong was still vividly reflected in his eyes. How is this possible? How could someone who just ascended to the heavenly supreme level possess such power? The Cold Sky King was utterly astonished, unable to contain the shock in his heart. He had witnessed heavenly supreme level battles before, but in his memory, even a full-force strike from a lower-level, heavenly supreme expert couldn't possibly carry such terrifying power. The Ice and Snow Spirit Array was the protective array of the Ice Spirit Clan. Though it could only unleash about 20% of its strength now, it was definitely not something an ordinary, heavenly supreme expert could easily break. Yet, Lindong's strike had directly obliterated one of the 3 subarrays of the Ice and Snow Array. What terrifying power this was! The Cold Sky King even believed that if a lower-level heavenly supreme expert had taken that hit, they would either die or be severely wounded. Swish! Just as the Cold Sky King was stunned by Lindong's terrifying strike, Lindong had already moved. He soared toward the central region of the Ice Spirit Continent, the area where he had blasted open a gap in the void. This time, the Cold Sky King could no longer block him, because as Lindong had said, he was incapable of stopping him. If that last strike had been aimed at him, he feared that he, along with the 15,000 supreme experts seated on the heavenly battle disk, would have turned to ash in an instant. Boom! After Lindong's departure, a terrifying energy storm quickly spread out from the central region of the Ice Spirit Continent. Clearly, the vast area of instant annihilation had temporarily interrupted the spread of the aftershock, but now the destructive shockwave from the void region had finally expanded. The scene that followed would be a massive visual impact not only for the Cold Sky King, but even for the 15,000 supreme-level experts seated on the heavenly battle disk. They saw that as the shockwave expanded, the first area to be affected was the space within hundreds of thousands of miles surrounding the void region. In just a few moments, countless cracks appeared in the space, resembling a gigantic sheet of cracked glass. Only in the center of this glass was a massive black hole several 100,000 miles wide. The remaining energy then spread outward, causing the unaffected space to twist violently, followed by a massive earthquake. Boom! A series of enormous fissures, stretching over millions of miles, extended outward from the center of the Ice Spirit Continent. At the same time, the shockwave caused countless ice and snow peaks to collapse into rubble. The terrifying tremors of the Earth reached the Cold Sky King's area in just half a minute. Similarly, within 10 minutes, it would reach the entire Ice Spirit Continent. After several hours, it would be felt by experts from the Wandering Realm, and even those tens of billions of miles away on the Fire Spirit Continent would detect the occurrence on the Ice Spirit Continent within a day, especially the more perceptive experts. This was the result of Lindong using the technique of the sacred drum to condense the heavenly battle attack for several minutes. Boom! The destructive aftershocks continued to ravage the northwestern region of the Ice Spirit Continent. Amidst such chaos, the Cold Sky King could only watch as Lindong advanced leisurely within the aftermath of the destruction, not daring to stop him. He waved his sleeve, dispersing the protective shield around the heavenly battle disk, and the 15,000 supreme experts inside immediately left the disk. However, as they stood up, they quickly activated a spiritual energy shield around themselves, fearful of being affected by the terrifying aftershocks. Once everyone had left the battle disk, the Cold Sky King withdrew it and, at the same time, addressed the 15,000 supreme experts, saying, "Clan leaders, we've done everything we can. The battlefield ahead is no longer ours. Upon hearing this, the more than 10,000 clan leaders exchanged glances with each other, then quickly bowed their heads. Half a month ago, due to the summons of the Grand Elder, they had gathered on the Ice Spirit continent, and all the inner clan members on the continent had also gathered in the inner domain. After the clan protection spirit array was activated, they were all protected within it. Just a few minutes ago, they had thought they were facing martial ancestor Lindong, merely a young man who had just ascended to the heavenly supreme rank. Cold Sky King, being the Ice Spirit clan's most powerful battle formation master, believed that even if he couldn't stop him, the situation wouldn't be too disastrous. However, the reality was far more terrifying than they could have ever imagined. The young man named Lindong was much more formidable than any of them had expected. They had been completely overconfident, thinking they could block a moving chariot with a mantis arm. After Cold Sky King ordered everyone to retreat, the 15,000 Supreme Realm experts immediately rushed toward the outer domain of the Ice Spirit clan at their fastest speed. At the very least, they could not remain on the Ice Spirit continent for now. No one knew when a stray wave from the battle might claim their lives. Cold Sky King, however, chose to stay behind. He sat in mid-air, gazing at the distant horizon. At this moment, Lindong's figure had already disappeared beyond their sight, leaving behind only a distant, menacing black hole in the sky. Cold Sky King wanted to stay and witness whether this man, martial ancestor Lindong, would succeed in fulfilling his will. About half a minute later, Lindong arrived at the rift in the Ice Heaven snowy array. Facing the vast emptiness, Lindong knew that behind it lay the inner domain of the Ice Spirit continent. Inside was the spatial gateway to the Icefire dimension, and Binghuan was there as well. No matter what he would face next, Lindong's resolve would not waver. What was that massive destruction just now? Wait, the clan protection spirit array was breached? Wasn't Cold Sky King outside? As Lindong prepared to step through the gap in the clan protection spirit array and enter the inner domain of the Ice Spirit continent, voices filled with astonishment came from the void, and soon, dozens of hurried figures emerged from that area. As Lindong saw those figures, his eyes sharpened. These people were all above the Earth's supreme level, numbering 27 in total. His sharp gaze immediately locked onto the last three figures, as their auras were far beyond that of ordinary perfected Earth Supremes. Though they hadn't yet ascended to the heavenly supreme level, they were clearly very close. They were most likely the three Ice Emperors of the Ice Spirit clan, as Elder Song had mentioned. As for the other 24 Earth Supremes, they were likely the majority of the Earth Supreme experts within the Ice Spirit clan. From the earlier confrontation, Lindong had guessed that after his breakthrough from the martial realm, the Ice Spirit clan had anticipated his arrival. These experts must have been gathered at that time, setting up heavy defenses to await his arrival. HM? What is that? As Lindong saw the 27 Ice Spirit clan experts emerge from the void, they immediately spotted him standing in the air, his figure as straight as a spear. Upon seeing Lindong and looking at the devastated scene outside the clan protection spirit array, all the Ice Spirit clan Earth Supremes instantly realized what had happened. Has Cold Sky King been defeated already? How is that possible? Didn't the battle just begin? The Ice Spirit clan experts looked at Lindong in disbelief. Cold Sky King was their clan's first battle formation master. How could he have been so quickly defeated? And the surrounding devastation, could it all have been caused by Lindong? Even more incomprehensible was how Lindong had managed to destroy the clan protection spirit array like that. Countless questions and astonishment surged through their minds, and as they were still in shock, Lindong's figure directly crossed space and appeared in front of them. The first target Lindong attacked was a man who had reached the Upper Earth Supreme level. In an instant, the man only saw Lindong's indifferent face, and before he could even react, Lindong's hand, covered in purple gold dragon scales, had already pressed against his chest. With a slight push, the man was sent flying like a cannonball, unable to resist at all. The man, who lost all resistance with a casual push from Lindong, fell onto the messy Ice Spirit continent below. Soon after, the earth collapsed, and the man descended deep into the ground, a depth that was unimaginable. To think that a strong Upper Earth Supreme expert could lose all resistance with just a light push from Lindong. Boom. Boom. In the instant when the first Earth Supreme expert was forcibly sent into the ground by Lindong, several figures were blasted away like cannonballs by Lindong's overwhelming speed. Among them was even an elder who had reached the realm of perfected Earth Supreme. At this moment, Lindong resembled a vicious wolf among a flock of sheep. By the time the remaining Earth Supremes reacted and began to retreat, nearly 10 of them had already been sent flying by Lindong's strikes, and all of this happened in the blink of an eye. After defeating the 9 Earth Supremes in an instant, Lindong allowed the remaining 18 to retreat, while his figure shot forward once again, heading toward the void region. Damn it! Don't retreat anymore. Quickly act and restrain him. Upon seeing Lindong attempt to rush into the inner domain of the Ice Spirit clan while the others retreated, the 3 Ice Emperors' expressions drastically changed. They immediately rushed toward Lindong. Although they knew that getting close to him would result in being crushed instantly, they still charged toward him. However, Lindong was currently using the speed derived from the True Dragon's power. Even if they had reached the Heavenly Supreme Realm, they would not have been able to catch up to him. Whoosh! With no one to stop him, Lindong's figure charged straight into the void region, and the remaining 18 could only watch helplessly as Lindong vanished into the darkness. Boom! Just as all the remaining Earth Supreme experts of the Ice Spirit clan watched helplessly as Lindong disappeared into the darkness, a dull roar suddenly reverberated from within that dark region. Then, everyone saw a figure seemingly struck by some force, shooting back from the dark area. It was Lindong, who had just entered the darkness. After being sent flying back for a short distance, Lindong steadied himself in midair with the help of the purple-golden dragon wings on his back. However, his gaze narrowed, and he fixed his eyes on a specific spot in the darkness, where a figure slowly emerged. Seeing the figure that appeared in the dark region, the Ice Spirit clan's remaining Earth Supremes couldn't help but show expressions of surprise and joy. Clan leader has finally arrived. The clan leader has finally made his move. As the figure dressed in a dark blue fur robe emerged, a terrifying aura that seemed to transcend the heavens and earth spread across the Ice Spirit continent. The remaining Ice Spirit clan experts in the void region cheered, looking up at the person hovering in midair with reverence. The figure was a young-looking man, his pale and cold face showing no trace of a smile. His sharp eyes exuded an ice-cold aura, as if they could freeze one's soul. He was the clan leader of the Ice Spirit clan, Lungfeng. In the memories of the many elders and experts within the Ice Spirit clan, Lungfeng rarely appeared in front of others. He spent most of his time in secluded cultivation. Though he looked like a young man, in reality, he had lived for thousands of years. He had already been the clan leader for almost 1,000 years. The position of clan leader in the Ice Spirit clan was not passed down at a fixed time, but to attain the position, one must at least be at the Heavenly Supreme level. As Heavenly Supreme experts were extremely rare in the Ice Spirit clan, it wasn't until 1,000 years ago that Lungfeng reached the lower Heavenly Supreme level and became clan leader. It was unclear when the next Heavenly Supreme would appear in the Ice Spirit clan. Not far away, Lindong's gaze sharpened as he looked at Lungfeng, who had appeared. He could sense that Longfeng's spiritual power was even more vast than his own. The boundless, inexhaustible spiritual energy of heaven and earth had already reached the peak of the lower Heavenly Supreme level. When Lindong rushed into the inner domain of the Ice Spirit continent earlier, Longfeng's sudden appearance had caught him off guard. Although Lindong immediately activated the True Dragon's power, Longfeng's sudden attack had still sent him flying out of the inner domain. Whoosh! 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 After Longfeng's appearance, the remaining 18 Earth Supreme experts of the Ice Spirit clan quickly gathered around him. Lungfeng also swept his gaze over the surrounding sky. Upon seeing the devastated land spanning millions of miles, a trace of surprise flashed across his cold expression. It seemed that they had greatly underestimated Lindong's strength. Despite this, as clan leader, Lungfeng could not allow Lindong to enter the inner domain of the Ice Spirit clan. After the remaining 18 Earth Supremes gathered, he waved his sleeve, tossing 3 cosmic bags to the 3 Ice Emperors and coldly said, Inside, there is a total of 600 million supreme spiritual liquid. You three work together to form a formation and repair the gap here. As for me, the cold, detached tone of Long Feng's words fell, and Lindong immediately felt the world around him begin to twist and collapse. In the blink of an eye, everything around him had shifted, and his body was directly transported far away from the clan protection formation. Likewise, Long Feng was also relocated. This was the kind of control over the heavens and earth possessed by a heavenly supreme, the ability to move anything at will. At present, both Lindong and Long Feng were in the southwestern region of the Ice Spirit continent, millions of miles away from the distant clan protection formation. Clearly, Long Feng did not want their clash to affect the Ice Spirit clan's experts who were busy repairing the formation's gaps. You're very strong, and I know your purpose. Therefore, I will not hold back in the next move, Long Feng said coldly as he looked at Lindong. Upon hearing this, Lindong clenched his fist, and countless purple-golden dragon scales appeared on his arm. At the same time, with the power of the true dragon within him, a pair of true dragon wings extended from his back. Lindong knew that Long Feng wouldn't allow him to enter the inner domain of the Ice Spirit continent until he defeated him. The only option was to crush him. As Lindong unleashed his power, Long Feng let out a deep breath. A faint blue six-winged symbol appeared on his forehead. At the same time, 6 enormous ice wings unfurled behind him, making Long Feng look like a 6-winged celestial envoy. As the leader of the Ice Spirit clan for thousands of years, Long Feng naturally had some powerful abilities at his disposal. Whoosh! As Long Feng spread his 6 ice wings, Lindong moved. With a single flap of his true dragon wings, he shot through the air at an astonishing speed, appearing right before Long Feng. As the distance between them closed, Lindong's true dragon fist, filled with countless dragon patterns, landed ruthlessly on Long Feng's body. However, as Lindong's fist passed through Long Feng's form, the latter dissolved like smoke, revealing that Lindong had only struck at a phantom. This caught Lindong off guard because he had great confidence in his own speed, especially after the benefits of the 8,000 drops of the true Dragon God Emperor's bloodline. If it were purely a contest of speed, Lindong was confident that he would not lose to any opponent below the level of a perfected Earth Supreme. Yet now, Long Feng had displayed a speed that even surprised Lindong. Whoosh! As Lindong was surprised by Long Feng's speed, a terrifying wave of cold air suddenly enveloped him from behind. Sensing the danger, Lindong quickly spun around, reacting instinctively to unleash a palm strike. Lindong's palm shattered the encroaching cold air, and from within that cold mist emerged a hand imbued with terrifying power. Bang! The two palms collided mid-air, sending Lindong flying 1,000 feet. Similarly, the person who had clashed with him was also knocked back. None other than Long Feng. Truly fast, Lindong muttered as he eyed Long Feng, who had been sent flying just like him. The speed displayed by Long Feng was truly beyond Lindong's expectations. In fact, it was even faster than his own, but the power behind it was weaker than Lindong's. Whoosh! After the first exchange, Lindong and Long Feng once again moved. They battled from the clouds below to the clouds above, and due to their speed, their fight spanned an immense area. Over the next several dozen breaths, Lindong and Long Feng clashed no less than 100 times. In the exchange, Lindong's speed slightly lagged behind Long Feng, but his strength was slowly overpowering Long Feng. This surprised Long Feng because Lindong's strength was only at the initial stage of a lower heavenly supreme, whereas he himself was at the peak of the lower heavenly supreme. The gap between them should have been an absolute one-sided advantage, but now it was Long Feng who was being suppressed. Boom! Under the clouds, Lindong and Long Feng collided again like meteorites. Their combined power ripped apart the clouds, and the thunder within them was clearly visible. Whoosh! In the rift torn in the clouds, Long Feng's figure zipped through like a streak of light. But just then, a hand suddenly shot out from the stormy clouds, causing his expression to change. The hand that emerged from the thunderclouds was made of pure thunder energy, and it struck at Long Feng. He quickly retaliated with a palm strike to disperse it. However, after dispelling one hand, Lindong, who stood opposite him, casually flipped his palm, and a lightning rod, formed entirely of thunder energy, appeared in his hand. Lindong, holding the thunder staff, slammed it violently into the clouds around him. Immediately, Cold Feng, across from him, saw the storm clouds start to churn. Boom! The sound of thunder reverberated across the heavens and earth. In the sky, countless bolts of lightning rained down towards the ground, forming towering energy giants that reached thousands of feet high. As these giants roared in unison, a terrifying battle intent filled the world. However, just as Lindong was about to summon an army of lightning giants with his battle intent, Cold Feng moved again. He understood exactly what kind of power Lindong was about to unleash. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The ice-cold spiritual energy in the air roared and surged behind Cold Feng, rapidly coalescing into numerous jagged ice crystals, each towering thousands of feet tall. Swish, swish, swish. After the ice crystals formed, they pierced through space and shot toward Lindong in a torrential downpour, their true target being the thousands of lightning giants Lindong had summoned with his battle intent. Seeing Cold Feng directly attacking his army of battle intent, Lindong's eyes narrowed slightly. However, he did not immediately command the lightning giants to evade Cold Feng's onslaught. Instead, he allowed them to remain in place, as if they were targets, while the jagged ice crystals rained down upon them. Boom, boom, boom. The massive ice crystals pierced through each lightning giant, causing a series of terrifying explosions. The explosions were so powerful that they left enormous craters, each one thousands of feet wide. After the ice crystal storm subsided, Lindong saw a vast land, riddled with craters that stretched for hundreds of thousands of miles. The thousands of lightning giants had been obliterated by Cold Feng's ice crystals. But as the last of the lightning giants were destroyed, Lindong sneered coldly. The thunder staff in his hand dissolved into plasma and vanished. Then, Cold Feng saw Lindong's hand sweep through the air, striking a spot in space. A sound like a war drum reverberated across the world. Boom! As the drumbeat of battle echoed through the heavens and earth, the entire sky darkened. The spiritual energy that filled the world boiled, and the ground trembled violently. Across from Lindong, Cold Feng saw the snow and earth around him begin to change, as if they had gained life. They morphed into countless figures, some made of ice and snow, others twisted and shaped from earth and stone. But all of these figures had one thing in common. The power within them was focused toward one point. That point was Lindong. All things in heaven and earth are but soldiers in battle. Is this the technique of battle intent used by the sacred drum heavenly sovereign back in the day? Looking at the millions of ice and snow soldiers that had appeared in the world, Cold Feng's normally cold face revealed a hint of shock. At the Ice Spirit Pavilion, the First Elder arrived once more. Grand Elder, Lindong's assault is too fierce. Cold Sky King and the 24 elders are no match for him, and the 3 Ice Emperors have been forced to retreat. The First Elder hurriedly reported the situation outside Ice Spirit Continent to Ice Firmament. The clan protection formation has been breached, and the 3 Ice Emperors are working to repair the gap, the First Elder continued, watching Ice Firmament calmly. After a brief pause, he added, but the clan leader has made a move and lured Lindong to the outskirts of Ice Spirit Continent. With the clan leader's strength, it will be extremely difficult for Lindong to break through. Not necessarily. Although Cold Feng has activated the ancient ice spirit within him, due to his cultivation limitations, he can only use one of the 3 abilities of the ancient ice spirit. Lindong, on the other hand, is known for his many tricks from his time in the lower dimension. Ice Firmament replied slowly. Ancient ice spirit? The clan leader's strength is above Lindong's. Even so, does he need to resort to such a power? The First Elder was astonished upon hearing Ice Firmament's words. The so-called ancient ice spirit was a spiritual being that had split off from part of the heavenly soul of the ice spirit, heavenly sovereign during the ancient times. As one of the 10 greatest superpowerhouses of the ancient era, the ice spirit heavenly sovereign's heavenly soul produced the ancient ice spirit, making it an incredibly formidable force. During the world-ending war, the ancient ice spirit had caused the fall of several sky emperors from the extraterritorial evil clan. After the world-ending war, although the ice spirit heavenly sovereign perished, the ancient ice spirit survived. However, at this moment, the ancient ice spirit made a decision for the sake of the ice spirit clan. It merged itself, in some form, into the bloodlines of all the clan's people, passing down through generations, providing each clan member with extraordinary benefits. Once a clan member possessing the power of the ancient ice spirit reached the heavenly supreme level, they could awaken the ancient ice spirit within their bodies at the ancestral grounds of the ice spirit clan. The ancient ice spirit granted these heavenly supreme experts 3 ultimate abilities: extreme speed, extreme strength, and extreme defense. In the Great Thousand Worlds, the extreme speed could rival that of the true phoenix, the extreme strength could match that of the true dragon, and the extreme defense was comparable to certain methods from the primordial divine clan. The 3 ultimate abilities could be obtained by those with the ice spirit clan bloodline when they reached the lower, upper, or perfected Earth Supreme levels. The order in which these abilities were gained was random, but it was certain that any heavenly supreme expert who obtained these abilities could crush opponents of the same level with a single aspect of their power. These abilities became the trump cards of the Ice Spirit Clan's heavenly supremes, only to be used when facing truly formidable opponents. Clearly, if the clan leader, Lindong, activated the power bestowed by the ancient Ice Spirit, Lindong would be an opponent that even he would have to fight with all his might. "I have a feeling that even Lindong won't be able to stop Lindong," said Ice Firmament. "Grand Elder, you can't be serious, can you? That martial ancestor, Lindong, only advanced to the lower heavenly supreme half a year ago. For him to force the clan leader to use the ancient ice spirit's power is already incredibly unexpected. Could it be that, at the heavenly supreme level, he's capable of fighting beyond his level?" The first elder said, somewhat incredulously. The gap between levels at the heavenly supreme tier was vast, 10 times greater than between the lower and upper heavenly levels. At the supreme realm, one might be surprised by a challenge beyond one's level, but with certain techniques, it was achievable. At the Earth Supreme level, mastering some divine secrets or powerful dharmakayas could allow for such feats. However, at the Heavenly Supreme level, being the final stage in one's cultivation, the disparity between each level was enormous, making the possibility of fighting beyond one's level almost non-existent. The Sacred Drum Heavenly Sovereign, also known as the War Heavenly Emperor in the ancient world-ending war, mastered the terrifying technique of the Sacred Drum. At the time, despite his cultivation being only at the upper Heavenly Supreme level, he was able to kill over 20 heavenly emperors from the extraterritorial evil clan, including a sacred emperor who was at the same level as a perfected Earth Supreme in our Great Thousand Worlds. He achieved all of this by wielding the sacred drum technique, which could command the will of heaven and earth in battle. And now, Lindong wields the battle will of heaven and earth left behind by the sacred drum Heavenly Sovereign. Do you think Lindong is facing Lindong, or is he facing heaven and earth itself? Ice Firmament turned to look at the First Elder. Upon hearing this, the First Elder finally realized the terrifying power hidden within Lindong. Grand Elder, will you also make a move? Although Lindong didn't cultivate the Supreme Dharmakaya himself, since the Great Thousand Worlds offered numerous paths to power, the Supreme Dharmakaya was just one of them. He was still slightly surprised when he saw the sealed Heavenly Ice Divine Physique summoned by Lindong. After all, this was the highest level of Supreme Dharmakaya he had encountered since coming to the Great Thousand Worlds. Moreover, as Lindong knew, the sealed Heavenly Ice Divine Physique ranked second among all Ice-type Supreme Dharmakayas, with the first-ranked one having been destroyed in the world-ending war. Therefore, in a sense, the sealed Heavenly Ice Divine Physique was the strongest at this moment. The massive sealed Heavenly Ice Divine Physique stood tall upon the earth, its vast form containing ice and snow, spiritual power spanning millions of miles. Boom! After summoning the sealed Heavenly Ice Divine Physique, Long Feng's figure flashed and appeared atop the spirit cap of the giant body. He then gripped his hand, and a long ice spear appeared in his grasp. With a shake of the spear, a terrifying chill that seemed capable of freezing heaven and earth spread out, momentarily freezing everything in the surroundings. including the massive battle dragon seal descending from above, which briefly froze before continuing its pressure downward. In that instant, as the battle dragon seal temporarily froze, Long Feng's piercing eyes narrowed. He then swept the ice spear through the air, and the sealed heavenly ice divine physique below him did the same. As Long Feng and the sealed heavenly ice divine physique swept their ice spears, a terrifying ice-cold force gathered into a massive torrent, enveloping the battle dragon seal above. The clash between the battle-intent dragon seal and the torrent of cold air erupted with an astonishing force. However, when the cold air torrent, condensed by Long Feng, collided with the battle-intent dragon seal, it was directly shattered. Similarly, the battle-intent dragon seal that Lindong unleashed was instantly frozen into a snow-white giant seal. As countless cracks spread across the giant seal, the once towering and overwhelming battle-intent dragon seal could no longer support its massive size and shattered into countless enormous ice chunks. Boom, boom, boom. The shattered battle-intent dragon seal plummeted from the sky, once again turning the devastated land within 100,000 miles upside down, creating a scene of destruction. At this moment, Lindong, on the opposite side of Long Feng, once again gathered the force of the heaven and earth battle intent and launched a devastating offensive against Long Feng. Rumbling. Amid the rolling dust, thousands of heaven and earth battle soldiers rose from the violently trembling ground. Some were continuously smashed by the enormous ice blocks falling from the sky but reformed and rose again, tirelessly. Every time a figure formed from the condensed battle intent of heaven and earth appeared, the explosive energy it released was turned into a torrent of battle intent containing destructive power, hurling toward Long Feng. Facing Lindong's devastating assault, Long Feng naturally would not sit idly by. He activated the sealed heavenly ice divine physique, channeling the power of ice and snow from heaven and earth to clash with Lindong's battle intent torrent. However, in this pure clash of power, despite Long Feng possessing the formidable sealed heavenly ice divine physique, he was still relentlessly suppressed by Lindong. Long Feng was best known for his speed, not for engaging in this kind of raw power contest. After dozens of rounds of combat, it was evident that Long Feng had fallen into a disadvantage. Moreover, after continuously exerting himself at full power, Long Feng's breath began to waver. On the other hand, Lindong, while manipulating the heaven and earth battle intent, seemed to have expended no energy at all. Clearly, Lindong was drawing from the very power of heaven and earth itself, and how could the power of heaven and earth ever run dry? Now, Long Feng finally understood the terrifying nature of the technique of the sacred drum. No wonder the sacred drum Heavenly Sovereign, with the power of an upper heavenly supreme, was ranked among the top 10 ancient superpowers. Boom. Once again, the battle intent torrent collided with the ice and snow power, but this time, Long Feng's sealed heavenly ice divine physique clearly lacked the momentum it had at the beginning. The shockwave from the collision of the two powers sent the sealed heavenly ice divine physique stumbling back more than 10 steps. With each step, the ground beneath his feet collapsed. Seeing this, Lindong couldn't help but smile faintly. He clearly saw that Long Feng's momentum had weakened. As long as he exerted a little more effort, he was sure he could crush his opponent. After that, there would only be one more obstacle left before meeting Bing Huan, the final supreme elder of the Ice Spirit Clan, Bing Zhangqiang. If anyone in the Ice Spirit Clan could pose a real threat to Lindong, it would be Bing Zhangqiang. His strength had truly reached the level of an upper heavenly supreme, several times stronger than the current Long Feng. Therefore, if Lindong couldn't defeat Long Feng, he wouldn't be able to face Bing Zhangqiang. But Lindong was determined that, no matter how powerful Bing Zhangqiang was, he would give his all and take Bing Huan away. Anyone who tried to stop him would be crushed. With his resolve firm, Lindong took a deep breath. He looked at Long Feng, who had just regained his balance, and the sealed heavenly ice divine physique. A glint of cold light flashed in his eyes. Then, the true dragon wings on his back spread once again and shook with all their might. Swish! With the shake of the true dragon wings, Lindong's body pierced through the space of 100,000 miles. However, he did not charge toward Long Feng, but instead retreated, appearing high in the sky 100,000 miles away. From this distance, Long Feng's figure could no longer be seen. Only the immense sealed heavenly ice divine physique remained visible, due to the great distance. But for the next strike, Lindong needed this distance. Do you want to crush me with one blow? Below, Long Feng's icy gaze grew grim as he saw Lindong retreat to such a great distance. From Lindong's actions, it was clear that he was preparing to unleash his most powerful attack to crush him. However, Long Feng couldn't understand why Lindong had chosen to create such a vast gap. Even if he were to execute a one-strike attack to defeat Long Feng, there was no need to create such a large distance. Suddenly, Long Feng seemed to realize something. When Cold Feng turned his gaze behind him, he finally understood what Lindong might be planning. Because at this moment, some hundreds of thousands of miles behind Cold Feng, a massive earth-spanning spirit array, a colossal formation stretching over 1,000,000 zhong, was slowly rotating. This massive spirit array was clearly the clan protection spirit array activated by their Ice Spirit clan, but it wasn't the same one that Lindong had just destroyed. Cold Feng hadn't anticipated that during their earlier clash, the battle circles they crossed had already shifted from the southwest of the Ice Spirit continent to the southeast. They had gone from one branch of the clan protection spirit array to another. This truly was a battle spanning over tens of millions of miles. Boom. Just as Cold Feng was taken aback by the sudden shift of the battle circles, the sound of a war drum, as though it had ignited the will of heaven and earth to battle, echoed from the skies above. As the sound of the war drum rang out, Cold Feng felt as though the entire world below him had come to life. Tens of thousands of battle forces from all directions suddenly stamped their feet in unison, causing the entire Ice Spirit continent to tremble. From beneath the army of countless soldiers, from above the boundless sky, and from the void in between, a vast and overwhelming battle intent surged forth unceasingly. This heaven and earth battle intent surpassed even the one Lindong had unleashed during his earlier fight with Cold Sky King, which had lasted for several minutes. This made Cold Feng realize that the purpose of this strike was nothing less than destruction. However, Cold Feng also understood the heavy responsibility he bore as the leader of his clan. As one of the Ice Spirit clan's strongest defenses, if he were to fall, who would protect the billions of his Ice Spirit kin? Thus, Cold Feng had already steeled himself to pay a certain price to block Lindong's attack. He slowly folded his 6 ancient Ice Spirit wings behind him and then, as 4 cosmic bags appeared in his hands, immense waves of indescribable spiritual energy burst forth from each of them. Whoosh! From the 4 cosmic bags poured out countless streams of supreme spiritual liquid, filling the air like stars. Roughly counted, there were over 7 or 8 billion of them. Boom! The appearance of such an immense quantity of supreme spiritual liquid in the world not only brought a visual shock, but also instantly ignited all the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. In that moment, everything became a boiling frenzy. Cold Feng, standing beneath the 8 billion supreme spiritual liquids, opened his mouth, and a terrifying force of suction wildly pulled all the supreme spiritual liquids into his heavenly soul. Cold Feng hadn't expected that at this critical moment, he would have to use these basic techniques, which were typically employed only by Supreme Realm practitioners.